First up, though, let's talk to the editor of the Lancashire Post, Nicola Adam. Good morning to you, Nicola.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. I wish it was under happier circumstances. I think we've all been hoping. We wake up each morning to the news that Nicola Bulley has been found safe and well, hit her head, suffered from amnesia, found safe and well. And sadly, I think most of us feared that would not be the case. Paul Ansell, her partner, her husband, has said no words right now, just agony. But, I mean, this is a case that has really struck to the very heart of everybody in Lancashire, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think everybody was hoping, everybody wanted some culmination to this, and obviously we don't yet know if this is Nicola, but, you know, at the same time, nobody wanted this to actually be, you know, what happened. So it's, as was mentioned, you know, there's so many scenarios that, you know, it's difficult. It's very difficult, and I can't, you know, there's not even any words really, is there, to describe the agony of the family that's you know, going on currently, and what they've been through in the last 3 weeks, and what they will continue to go through if this is Nicola, or if she is still missing. So there's no real kind of positive to find out of this today.
No, absolutely. I mean, again, we understand it may take days for this body to be identified, because, of course, if this is Nicola Bulley's body, it will have been in the water for more than 3 weeks. She went missing on the 27th of January. There's been a lot of criticism, not just of Lancashire Police, but also of the sort of armchair detectives, some of whom left their armchairs and actually visited the area. This is a small village, small town where they live in St Michael's on Wyre. This is a very close-knit community. We've heard from so many, not just the sisters of Nicola Bulley, but friends. You know, her children's friends, mothers who, you know, knew her well, and everyone has obviously been heartbroken by her going missing in this way. And we've had a whole bunch of people apparently turning up, filming their social media videos, speculating, and then we had Lancashire Police telling the world that she was having a bad menopause and had problems with alcohol, and police had been called. What did you make of all of that, and what have local people made of all of that?
It's been a lot, I think, for local people. They really have gone up and down with it. I mean, they've all been at the heart of it, really hoping something, a miracle would occur at some point during this 3 weeks. And it's been very hard to see the speculation and hear and be kind of looped into this conversation that's been constantly going on, some of which, you know, is genuinely fueled by people just wanting to help, and some of which is fueled by, you know, just a desire for content, a desire to, you know, it's almost like it was a TV drama playing out. And I think that's what I think people forget, that actually it's a real person at the centre of that. Some people, you know, not all by a long shot, but the overall effect of all of that has been really quite sad for the people of St Michael's, for, you know, for the family, and it must, you know, I can't understand how they've managed to, you know, cope with it.
No, indeed. And again, this isn't a new series of Happy Valley or Prime Suspect. These are real people in real lives, and people can often forget that, and a family that is hurting, and they're seeing it almost like as a little challenge or something, you know. And that's sort of a murder weekend mystery, and it isn't. It's very much real life. In terms of the criticism of the police, they were very much criticised for giving out this very personal information, a lot of political and police criticism. Why do you think they did that? Because have they just been covering their own backs? Well, there's quite a lot of criticism that they'd gone down this route, that they thought she'd fallen in the river, and there was a view, we got the impression from the family and friends that they weren't focusing enough on trying to find her if she hadn't fallen in the river.
Yeah, I think sort of to put aside the actual investigation itself, i.e., trying to find Nicola, I think that has been intense. I don't think, like, certainly local people or family would criticise the way in which the police have gone about trying to find her. I think that the pressure cooker that's been created through all of the speculation created a situation where Lancashire Police had never dealt with before, and I think that some of the decisions that were made under that pressure cooker. Whether they're right decisions, probably not in some of the cases, you know, and but you know that you know, and questions will need to be looked into, and there will need to be an inquiry. But at the same time, you can see that those have been made on the fly, some of those decisions, and in a sort of unprecedented situation for them.
Yeah.
And they've been pulled in so many directions by, even the Prime Minister has got involved. It's that doesn't, on a missing person inquiry. It's been very intense, and I think we'll only know down the line what the decision-making process was behind the scenes. We don't know that yet.
But indeed, there are going to be investigations, aren't there?
Yeah.
Nicola, Adam, again, I appreciate you joining us throughout the last few weeks, and I wish it was under happier circumstances. And of course, we've still got the possibility, of course, that this isn't Nicola Bulley, in which case we have another mystery in our hands. Editor of the Lancashire Post, Nicola, Adam, thank you for that. Let's cross live now to St Michael's on Wyre, the village where Nicola Bulley and her family live. Oliver Whitfield-Majacek, TalkTV's reporter, is live there for us. Good morning to you, Oliver.
Good morning, Julia.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Wish it was under, I think to everyone this morning, happier circumstances. We don't yet know whether this body is that of Nicola Bulley, but that is I suppose, the strong expectation of the police and of many others. And we've heard these words for the partner of Nicola Bulley, Paul Ansell, saying that there are no words right now, just agony for the family. He says, we're all together, we have to be strong. The local community, of course, also in shock.
Yeah, this is a local community which, ever since Nicola went missing, has rallied together, has organised its own searches, has been out walking miles of these river paths, all in a desperate bid to find Nicola. Although Nicola did not live here in St Michael's on Wyre, her two children went to the local primary school. It's somewhere she used to come a lot with her family to walk the dog Willow. And of course, on the 27th of January, it's where she was walking through those fields and then was last seen just after 9 in the morning, before her phone and her dog and the dog's lead was found on that bench by the River Wyre.
Well, indeed. I mean, we know that there was 10 minutes were unaccounted for, and they were looking for dash cam footage from motorists nearby, appeals for every possible witness to come forward. What had they seen? Who had they seen? And there was always this hope from her family and friends and the local community that she had wandered off. She'd been taken by somebody rather than fall in the river. There was a chance that she would be one day found alive. This, of course, they're saying is that the worst case scenario, if this is her body and that she is dead. To a certain extent, though, having looked as a news reporter for many years, covered an awful lot of cases, it seems to me for a lot of families, when they do lose a loved one in what we fear will be these tragic circumstances, at least there will be answers. When you think of the cases where people go missing and are never seen from again and no body is found, that, in a way, can be far worse, can it not?
Yes, and the police will be doing their utmost to try and give the family those answers. We're going to go through that formal identification process. Potentially that could end today, which will involve DNA. It'll involve potentially a visual confirmation. Then it will be the more formal processes of when somebody normally dies. There's possibly going to be a post-mortem in this case. It will then be taken to a coroner for an inquest. But this has been a case which has really caused a lot of mystery for people, not only here in St Michael's on Wyre, but right across the country. There's been conflicting information from the police communications department and then from the independent search expert, Peter Faulding. Remember, he was brought here to assist the police with his beefed up sonar equipment, which he said would be able to find Nicola in the river within a matter of minutes. He'd also told TalkTV after his searches had completed that he was 100% sure that Nicola was not in the water. He'd done 3 days of searching both upstream from the bench and downstream. Well, in the last few minutes, we've actually had an update from Peter Faulding. Writing on Facebook, he said, sadly, the discovery of the body was found not in the river, but in the reeds at the side of the river. That was not part of our remit, as the side scan sonar does not penetrate reeds above or below the water. He says a riverbank and wade search would be the only way to find that. The difference between these two searches is that has caused a lot of confusion and unfair criticism towards myself and my team at Specialist Group International.
But that's very interesting, isn't it? Again, because he'd said, as you said, look, if her body's in the river, we will find her body. And again, he's not just something, we spoke to him on my show as well. He's not, some random man with some sonar equipment. He is, his company is used by many police forces around the country for this sort of search methods. But the crucial thing here is, I think a lot of people thought the body, if it was her, had gone downstream and they were searching all the way out to Morecambe Bay, were they not? But say some parts, this is a very deep and fast-moving river. But if it is the case that her body is found just a mile downriver and in the reeds, Why did the police not search? You know, I mean, that's just a mile. That's not the longest stretch of river to search. Why was her body not found sooner? There are going to be some big question marks about that search.
Well, the police have searched this area. It's been searched multiple times, along with the secondary search by Peter Faulding and his team. Down from the weir, it is tidal in this part of the river, and over the past, I'd say, 15 days, the river levels have been very low. That's led to a lot of people to say there's no way that a body would have gone over the weir, or indeed if it had gone past the weir, it wouldn't have got very far because there was rocks visible. But in the past few days, the tides have been coming up. We've got the high tide coming today, and there's been an increased amount of river flow. With it being tidal, things move backwards and forwards down that river. So it could be the case that the body was lodged somewhere. It was, as we're hearing from Peter Faulding, deposited on the side of the river in the reeds where it wouldn't have been seen. So I'm sure all of this is going to be covered in that police investigation, which is now going to continue at pace, that a body has been found.
Yeah, indeed. It's just all very sad. And in terms of the reaction from the local community, we've seen a lot of yellow ribbons on the bridge near where Nicola Bulley was last seen, her mobile phone and her dog found on that dog walker after taking her children to school. All this horrible speculation about her personal life, bad menopause, drinking too much, police haven't been called. A lot of anger and upset at Lancashire Police divulging such personal, difficult information about someone who had gone missing. What's the reaction there to that police action?
Well, very sombre here on the whole at everything that's unfolding. They're waiting to hear that news from the police. But in terms of the reaction to what has been put out there by Lancashire Police, you know, it's really divided opinion. A lot of people here say that the police have done a fantastic job with the search. They've done a fantastic job of reassuring the community. We've seen police community support officers going to various households that have requested assistance, where people have been found in their front gardens, TikTokers running amok, trying to film things to put on social media. But the decision to release that very personal information has upset quite a lot of people. We've seen the condemnation and the concern, not only from people who are in charities that deal with menopause, that deal with alcoholism. There's been concerns raised by the Shadow Home Secretary, the Home Secretary, the Prime Minister, the Information Commissioner's Office, and as a result, I'm sure there will be internal investigations and reviews that have found. But even on that internal investigation, which is taking place by Lancashire Police, some critics are accusing the local police force of marking their own homework, and they want to see an external force come in to give some more transparency to that investigation.
Oliver Whitfield-Mirchich, thank you so much for joining us. There's TalkTV reporter there live from the scene in Wyre.